Broadcasting from a computer with Windows 95, deep within an underground bunker somewhere in the back of your imagination, it's the Use Your Weight Radio Podcast, presented by the JXB Radio Network. And now, two men who lovingly call Alabama, "That never happened, it doesn't count." It's Dr. Motorcycle and the fantastic Johnny X.
Well, welcome in everyone to another great episode of the Use Your Weight podcast here on the JXB Radio Network. We are up to episode number 4. I'm Dr. Motorcycle, as always, joined by the fantastic Johnny X.
Episode 4, that's right. Much like the Four Horsemen, rest in peace, Ole Anderson. We are here. We are 4 strong, or something.
You would make a good Ole Anderson, wouldn't you?
I have way more facial hair and hair than Ole ever had, so.
Very true. Well, Johnny, what has been going on in your world recently?
Well, I will lead off by saying I am doing much better than the last time we gathered to record this here fine episode of Audio Brilliance.
Nice.
Things have been going much better in my world. As we're recording this, we're eyeball deep into the NCAA tournament, the men's and women's tournaments going on. I think in the time it took me to say that, the WVU women's team got called for 3 more fouls on Caitlin Clark. As far as the men's bracket, my bracket's in a shambles. I think I've got 10 out of the Sweet 16 left in my bracket. My national champion's still alive, but I did not pick Connecticut, and they look pretty much unbeatable right now, so not feeling good about that. And the only other thing really of note, because I've just been so busy with work and everything else, I took some time here recently, Motorcycle, to binge Netflix's 3-Body Problem. Are you familiar with this?
3-Body Problem. I am not familiar with this. I have been binging Jailbirds on Netflix, along with Arrested Development.
Oh, yes, Arrested Development, one of my favorite shows of all time. 3-Body Problem. It is not a menage a trois porn, I might add. It's pretty awesome. It's I've never read the books that it's based on. It's a book trilogy. Never read that, but it's the latest offering from the guys behind Game of Thrones, Benioff and Weiss. And I just finished the first season recently, within the last 48 hours, and I was really impressed. And I went down a rabbit hole after finishing that and read some pieces from some people whose opinions on these things I trust. And they all said basically the same thing, that the show is better than the book because it expands on some things in the book. And so, I mean, I don't have the frame of reference having not read it, but what I'm really hoping for, it hasn't been renewed for season 2 yet. So hoping for season 2 and season 3. It's like I said, it is a book trilogy, so you can get 3 seasons out of it. But what I like best is I'm positive that the creators behind this show will stick the landing, because the last time they did an unfilmable book series, they got to the end faster than the writer did and really did not stick the landing with Game of Thrones. So damn you, George R.R. Martin, for not, finishing your damn books, I should say.
Well,
so,
Johnny, I hate to interrupt you, but I'm getting word that there is an incident taking place downtown, and we actually just hired a brand new action news team this past week here on the show on the JXB Radio Network. So now we go downtown for our Use Your Weight Action News team, where Bradley Whittaker is on the scene.
Bradley Whittaker here with Use Your Weight Action News. We're on the scene of a major incident involving an emergency response team. Now, the police haven't released any information as of yet, but I understand we have a witness who saw... No, not you.
Yeah, Bradley. I seen the whole daggum thing. It was just like that time back in '97. I went to Cousin Jeb's house for a combination family reunion and cockfight tournament, when all of a sudden, somebody blew up Big Earl's sign sack. Shoo-wee, the things you can do with them there M80s.
Well, as I said, we don't know any information as of yet, so we're now going to try and get the police to come
Man,
and...
you know you can't be calling up no police around me, Bradley. Last we was together, you had me on the ground when I was all zooted on them Ozempics and Krispy Kremes. And all 'cause I'd snuck them donuts down your pants while you was reporting on my sister cousins running with the priest and the monkey. Ain't nothing I ain't ever touched.
Stay focused, Brad. Think of the girls. It appears that we might get a glimpse of what's happening as one of the emergency vehicles is moving. It looks like
Godzilla ate some bad chicken and sneezed. Eastbound and Brown hit a bumped and paint to town. Ooh, boy, is it nasty in there. Makes me think of that time little Earl decided to drink a gallon of that marinara sauce and ate them deviled eggs. I tell you what, he was a sweating a mess just like you was after them police got you off me and slammed you on the ground. Your new bosses know about that?
I thought this is what restraining orders were for. No, Bradley, don't break. Now, from what we can see, a semi-truck carrying what may be tomato sauce has turned over and the contents...
This one time I used paint to blind a cop as I was running some clear across state lines. I see why they call them pigs now. Soon as that there paint hit his eyeballs, he started just squealing like a little potbelly. His whole face just looked like the rag I was huffing from. You ever done that, Bradley?
Every time, Merle. Why? You are always where I am.
Oh, Bradley. You just got that animalistic magicianism.
It's magnetism, you fool. Magnetism.
Magnetism, magicianism, metabolism, masochism. Hey, Bradley, you know a lot about that last one, don't you, Bo? Ooh, them police was just putting a whooping on your ass that day. Them donuts falling out your pants. I ain't seen a beating like that since Uncle Loomis caught Cousin Darrell with Mamaw Coney in the trailer out back. I tell you what.
That is it. I've had it with you, Merle. I am going to take this microphone and shove it so far.
Thanks for that on-the-spot report, Bradley. You're going to make a fantastic addition to the Use Your Weight team, I can already tell. So we'll have more news later on, I'm sure. But Motorcycle, anything you would like to add?
I mean, I do not know who the hell is working in our HR department these days. But yeah, I mean, you could look at it one of two ways. It either gets better or it's infinitely worse, or maybe it's both.
Very true. Very true. But, you know, we have definitely assembled a brilliant team of spot-on reporters and news deliverers and weather people. And speaking of, can't wait to hear from them later.
It certainly is a unique menagerie.
Yes,
We need to take a break here on the show and get things back together. You're listening to the Use Your Weight Radio podcast here on the JXB Radio Network.
You are listening to the Use Your Weight Radio podcast, courtesy of the JXB Radio Network. We appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, and wash your dog.
Hey fellas, it's your favorite gumshoe, Jimmy Larue. After my visit with Eileen, I leaned out the door. Good thing Marty's place is only 100 yards. Otherwise, I never would have made it. So I get over to Marty's, and he's a good man. I get just barely through the threshold, and he's got the Cubans out waiting for me. So I take a look at the picture, and sure enough, these are the cigars my client is definitely looking for. Gold filigree box is mahogany. Ah, Cubans. They smell of honey and cinnamon and cocoa butter. But all of a sudden I get a faint whiff of tuna. And I said, Marty, you're standing too close. And he's like, I'm sorry, just had lunch. And I said, Marty, you know I've been drinking, and you know we rent the liquor anyway. No need to bring it back up, you know what I mean? Marty's one of these weird guys, you know? He goes from point A to point B, but he goes from like New York to Florida via Alaska. I don't know how he does it, and I don't know why he does it, he just does. This man's got an attention span of a squirrel sometimes. So when I mentioned that I had been drinking, he's like, Jimmy, did you know that corn is technically a fruit and not a vegetable? And I said, get out of here. You're crazy. And he's like, no. Gotta hear me out on this. He said, a corn kernel is a caryopsis, much like an apple or avocado. I said, okay, continue. Call me interested. And he says to me, because it is a fleshy fruit with a seed in the middle, and it also comes from a flower. And he says, if that's true, that means french fries are vodka and whiskey is ketchup, and they should go together. Jeez, Marty, you really need to get out more. Fellas, I have to get back to Atlantic City and help that lady find her missing piece of fingerware for her pet chicken. Until next time, this is Jimmy Larue, your favorite gumshoe.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Yeah, hey, hi. This is Bob from Bob's Adult Supply. Yeah, the movie you had me order, Food of Goblins 5, just came in. Apparently, it comes with a Food of Goblins 5 poster and some, other things. Now, I'm not one to judge, but your belongings keep staring at me, and it's giving me the creeps. I'm gonna need you to come and get your goods. Call me back.
Flames, flames, flames! Come on down to Flames Only Emporium. Here we have all of your flame needs. Flames! Automotive decals, we got them! Flames! Button-down t-shirts from your year at 4th grade in 2002? Find them here! Hell, we even have physical flames in the form of a fire pit for your backyard. Flames! All of your flame needs, all under one roof. Flames! We have deals so hot that it'll burn your socks off before they're knocked off. Flames! So come on down today. We are right off Route 3095, right next to Guy Fieri's Flavortown Kitchen. If you hit Barb's Adult Supply, you've gone too far. Flames!
This segment of Use Your Weight on the JXB Radio Network is brought to you by BK's Meat Depot. Come in every day for the freshest cuts of meat, except on Sundays when the meat is marked down. Contaminated meat, contaminated meat, contaminated meat. BK's Meat Depot, a proud sponsor of the JXB Radio Network. No one can beat BK's meat. Contaminated meat, contaminated meat, contaminated meat.
It's the Use Your Weight Radio podcast on the JXB Radio Network.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Use Your Weight Radio podcast here on the JXB Radio Network. Just wanted to remind you all that you can find us online. We're on Instagram at Use Your Weight Pod, and we're on YouTube. That is youtube.com/@useyourweight. And now it's time for what's become one of our favorite segments.
And now, I watched the trailer, so I saw the movie.
All right, well, Johnny, this week we are going to feature a great gem, which I have sent you the trailer to. You know nothing about this movie. You have read nothing about this movie. The only thing you know is what you have seen by what you saw in the trailer. Tell me your synopsis for Cash Out.
Oh boy, I low-key hate you for this one. So basically, this is going to be your standard one last job and I'm done heist movie. It's going to rip off about 15 different screamingly better movies. It looks like it's Heat if Michael Mann was a first-year film student with zero concept of what he's doing. Well, more so than your average first-year film student knows what they're doing, at least. John Travolta's character, it looks like he's going to be a cross between Elon Musk if he were a gravy seal, Neil McCauley from Heat if he got hit in the head a few dozen times after coming out of a 15-year coma, and Danny Ocean from Ocean's 11, 12, 13 if he had all of his charisma and talent surgically removed. I really can't think of anything else to say about this movie except this. If I see this Heat coming around the corner, I won't need 30 seconds to decide if I'm going to walk away or not. I'm out. This looks terrible. And again, I low-key hate you for making me watch this for this segment.
Here is the synopsis according to IMDb. Professional thief Mason attempts his biggest heist with his brother, robbing a bank. When it goes wrong, they're trapped inside, surrounded by law enforcement. Tension rises as Mason negotiates with his ex-lover, who is the lead negotiator.
Okay, so it's Inside Man meets Heat meets Point Break meets, like I said, 15 other different movies. Like what I could tell from the trailer, this is screamingly ripping off. And, you know, I made the Elon Musk crack, but, you know, he's bald and middle-aged, midlife crisis looking, and looks like he has a lot of money and a lot of toys, you know, so that's where I got the Elon Musk vibes. But
do you want to know something? You want to know something even more hilarious?
Oh, I can't wait.
They have already shot and produced the sequel to this movie.
You know, this one sounds like it's going to go down in the pantheon with like Money Plane. And if you don't know about Money Plane, look that one up. I've seen the trailer for that and heard a lot of things. So I can't do the review on that. I've heard too much, but
I think that your Danny Ocean's assumption is correct. Now, Cash Out, I'll tell you in a second why. Cash Out is scheduled to be released April 26th of this year. The sequel was shot in April of 2023. Not April and May and June, but in April, which is to presume it took less than 4 weeks to shoot the sequel for a movie that hadn't even come out yet, and it was shot in a casino in Mississippi.
Bold move, Cotton. We'll see how it pays off for him in the later rounds.
Cash Out's directed by Doug Richardson, who has done Money Train, Die Hard 2, Bad Boys, Hostage. So who knows, you know?
So a casino in Mississippi. So it's also ripping off Ozark. Got it.
Could be. And with that, we are actually going to hear about a great movie, according to some people. It's time for Bates Debates Films, where this week on this episode, he is talking about the classic Iron Man.
Coming to you straight from the labs underneath the JXB radio network, here's something I've been cooking up for the Use Your Weight podcast. Welcome to Bates Debates Films. Hey there everyone, this is Josh Bates with Bates Debates Films. Now, as of time of recording, Robert Downey Jr. has just won an Academy Award for his performance in Oppenheimer, and he gives a fantastic performance. But I want to go back, all the way back to 2008, to look at the film that paved the way for his comeback to stardom, Iron Man. Now, say what you will about the MCU and the quality of films of late. If you go back to where it all began, Iron Man is a rock-solid film. In a time where the Christopher Nolan Batman films were grim and dark, the MCU offered something new, a comic book film that was fun, lighthearted, and had some genuine comedic bits in it. And honestly, a big reason for all that was none other than RDJ. His sheer magnetism carries the film and propels it forward like something Tony Stark would create. The film begins with Tony Stark as a playboy weapons manufacturer. He has no qualms or regrets about what he does at all. He flies over to the Middle East to give a demonstration of his new missile system to the U.S. Army, and his Humvee convoy gets attacked. He winds up with shrapnel in his heart, captured by a terrorist organization. During his capture, he learns that Stark-branded weapons wound up in the hands of the terrorist, and that troubles him deeply. So with nothing else beyond the help of a fellow inmate and what amounts to scrap metal and wires, he constructs the first Iron Man suit and uses it to escape back to freedom. Once back on home soil, he confronts Obadiah Stane, played by Jeff Bridges, in a rare appearance as an antagonist. Stark is frustrated and upset that the terrorists were sold Stark weapons, but Obadiah is only concerned with bringing in as much money as possible. Stark begins to work on an updated version of his Iron Man suit now that he's back home and has access to all of his fancy gizmos and tech toys. He wants to right the wrongs his company has created in the world, and he feels personally responsible. Considering RDJ's own personal battle with drug addiction, Stark's journey of righting wrongs and moving on from past mistakes feels genuine in a way that no other actor could bring to life. At the risk of sounding overdramatic, Robert Downey Jr. was born to play this role. The only downsides to this film are it does have some pacing issues, and the final third act battle feels anticlimactic. With all that said, though, this is a lot of fun with genuine heart and soul. I give it an 8 out of 10. As of time of recording, this film is currently streaming on Disney Plus, and it's available on home media as well. For the Use Your Weight podcast, this is Josh Bates signing off from underneath the JXB Radio Network.
That is our very own Duke Silver. Josh Bates with his Bates Debates film review of the classic, modern classic, Iron Man. Now, Motorcycle, I don't know. I know you only recently watched this movie. I saw this movie in theaters opening weekend back in 2007. However long ago it's been now. It's been a long time. But I loved it. It's, as the MCU has gone on, it's still a very important movie to the pantheon of the MCU. I would probably put it on the MCU Mount Rushmore along with Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. I'm not sure what the fourth movie in that would be. There's a number of options. But Iron Man, the first Iron Man would definitely be on there. Robert Downey Jr., perfectly cast. It's almost as if Jack Kirby and Stan Lee 60, 70 years ago said, one day there will be a man born, and he will look like this, and he will have this whole vibe, and it will be our Tony Stark in real life. And that man was Robert Downey Jr. So, recent Academy Award winner, I might add, Robert Downey Jr. So, love this movie. Love this series of movies for the most part. And, really glad Bates took a look at it for us.
I give it like a 4 out of 10.
Wow.
I mean,
what was your problem with it?
Number one, it starts off with AC/DC, and my absolute hatred for AC/DC. They just are terrible. It starts out with AC/DC. I mean, from a story standpoint, and having been into comic books and such myself as a child, I mean, I have a set of 1994 Marvel collector's cards, full set in mint condition. That's the kind of person I was. But I was never really that much into Iron Man. And yes, full disclosure, I did not watch the movie until Bates said he was going to do it. He touted it up as though it were the second coming of Christ when it comes to movies and superhero films. And I don't know. Robert Downey Jr., yeah, he does a good job. But then in addition to Iron Man, you have Gwyneth Paltrow, which is a vacuous vortex that sucks out my testosterone to no end. At first, I thought that it was, what's her name in that Ben Stiller movie? It doesn't matter. They're both the same. And, one of the things that I was, when I was done with this movie, is when he first goes back to the place where he was held captive. He comes down out of the air, he slams into the ground, and there's absolutely no effect on the ground, no dust, no fog. And then the CGI from there just was terrible in that entire scene. But bless you, Jon Favreau, for doing your job. You did it well.
Well, I will say, and that's certainly a take. It's not a take I'd heard before about the Iron Man movie. So,
Cameron Diaz.
Will say,
it was Cameron Diaz. That's who I was trying to. I first thought it was Cameron Diaz. They're both the same. It doesn't matter. They both suck.
I will say, though, Motorcycle, this was not the most important or best movie to come out this summer that it dropped. It was only at best, the second best comic book movie to come out that year, because a little bit later that same year, The Dark Knight was unleashed upon the world. And if you have an unkind thing to say about Heat 2, Dark Knight, then we got problems.
I went and saw The Dark Knight for the midnight showing the night that it came out. So
good man.
We got to take a break here on the show. You are listening to the Use Your Weight Radio podcast here on the JXB Radio Network. And we're having fun. We'll be right back.
Did you know we have a YouTube channel? Just visit youtube.com/@useyourweight. We appreciate you listening and thank you for your support.
And now it's time for Random Thoughts with Slim Reaper. Slim Reaper.
What if I had turned left on August 15th, 2012?
Slim Reaper.
The fog is approaching.
Slim Reaper.
Are we sure it ain't butter? Because I don't believe it.
Slim Reaper. This has been Random Thoughts with Slim Reaper on the JXB Radio Network. Slim Reaper.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Leroy, get over here now. Yee-haw, look at that thing go. Man, that gator really loves those chicken legs. Woohoo! Leroy, what'd I just say? Get your sorry butt over here right now. Come on.
Skeeter Holcomb here. Spring has sprung here at Shovels and More, and the deals are hotter than Sidney Sweeney on Arizona concrete at high noon. We've got all your shovel needs covered, whether you're cleaning out a ditch, digging up that clogged septic tank, or just need to get rid of your neighbor's cat who accidentally walked under your car. We've got you covered. And for a limited time, you show us the head of Skeeter's old gal Patricia's new man, we'll throw in a complimentary bag of Digger Dan's Platinum Fertilizer, free of charge. Shovels and More, off Route 42 behind the Piggly Wiggly, right next to Barb's Adult Supply. Stop in, tell them Skeeter sent you, and buy yourself a shovel.
And now, it's time to lube up and get down. It's the Velvet Connection with your local Lothario, Lazarus Love Handle.
Welcome back, my babies. I'm Lazarus Love Handle, here to make sure your night goes from swipe right to swipe right there. You know, the first time you're with someone can be awkward. You whine, you dine, and they are looking oh so absolutely fine. So when it comes time to seal the deal, and you can see your partner's feeling a little nervous, just lean in real close and whisper these 13 words that are sure to make everything go just right. Baby, everything I am about to do to you, I learned at SeaWorld. Until next time, keep it smooth, my babies. Keep it smooth.
Welcome back. You are listening to Use Your Weight on the JXB Radio Network. I am the fantastic Johnny X. He is the amazing man of many talents, Dr. Motorcycle. This segment is brought to you by our good friends at BK's Meat Depot. Remember, no one can beat BK's Meat. Let me ask you a question, Motorcycle. Have you ever gambled?
Oh, I gamble incessantly all the time.
Well, I mean, you go to casino, maybe you go on FanDuel, because I know you and I both live in states where sports gambling is legal.
Yeah.
You go on FanDuel, maybe throw down $10 on a stupid long shot parlay or something.
I am the king of the $1 13 leg parlay.
I think the dumbest parlay I've ever put down was a $10 parlay that was like 18 legs, and had it have hit, it would have paid out something like $2 million, $2.5 million. I think I got 8 out of 18 right or something. But it was $10. Who cares? No, the reason I ask, a lot going on in the world with relation to gambling, as sports gambling has kind of taken over, got in bed with all the major sports leagues. Right as baseball seasons get ready to start, the news breaks that Shohei Ohtani, the at worst second best player in the entire game, is either the most oblivious rich person ever, or he's a degenerate gambler whose friend has taken a fall for him. I'm sure you've seen the news on that and kept up with it some.
I don't read the news at all. The only news that I know is what we air here on the show. So everything that I know about the world is in a big black dark hole.
Well, very quickly, I will say the only thing that's stupider when it comes to sports gambling, and there's actually multiple sports gambling controversies happening right now, is Jonte Porter of the Toronto Raptors, whose brother, Michael Porter, is a more famous player. But Jonte may have redefined the idea of betting on yourself. He literally took the under. Some of his friends likely cashed out some big parlays because they bet on his prop bets, parlays on his like under for his scoring total, different things like that. And it's all really sketchy and weird looking. So as of this recording, nothing's come down the pike, but he's likely to set a precedent for what happens to an NBA player, because he's likely going to receive a lifetime ban, which really sets an interesting precedent. So if someone of any consequence actually does this, truly disgraces the league, what are they going to do? Summary execution. So anyway.
Well, thank you for that fantastic sports report. Fantastic Johnny X. So now it's time for a check on the weather with JXB Radio Network Chief Meteorologist Tempest Wilson. Tempest?
Good evening. I'm Tempest Wilson, and now the weather.
It's Weather with Tempest Wilson on the JXB Radio Network.
Oh, now she has theme music.
The forecast is calling for changing conditions as we head into the weekend, with temperatures dropping below normal as a cold front moves into the area. But really, what is life but a series of cold fronts and a series of fleeting moments of warmth, just like relationships?
Oh gosh, she's at it again.
But I digress. With the cold comes a high chance of precipitation. Another day, another chance of rain. But is it really rain? Or is it just the disappointment of a celestial being crying as it views Earth, wondering where it all went wrong, and mourning our fickle existence, just like myself on my last blind date?
Can we, maybe we should just go to traffic. Tempest isn't feeling so...
But really, life and the weather are a lot alike. Both are unpredictable and quite often disappointing.
Or, if not traffic, maybe we could go to commercial.
And looking at the weekend, it will be just like my last blind date. A mixture of scattered showers and shattered dreams. I mean, his name was Merle. I should have swiped left.
Merle? Who's Merle? Swiped left? What is that?
That's all for tonight's weather. I'm Tempest Wilson, reminding you to stay ahead of the storm and keep your eyes to the skies, or else you may end up drowning in your own tears, and possibly a pool of vomit from the shrimp cocktails you ate, which he didn't even pay for that son of a bitch!
All right, well, Tempest Wilson, everyone, once again with an intriguing weather report right here on Use Your Weight, presented by the JXB Radio Network. I guess I'll just look out the window and figure out the weather.
Yeah, I was going to say I was feeling better about my life now, but yet again, Tempest has me questioning the reality of everything. Because, again, I asked you last time, I ask you again, what is life, motorcycle? I mean, does anyone really know?
Maybe our traffic correspondent, Cheeky McGee, knows.
Cheeky McGee here, live on the scene at Highway 87, where a semi... Wait. Oh my God! Okay, doctor, new developments. Oh no. Wait, are we live? My lips are chapped. Where did I put...
Cheeky, you're live? I mean, we're still live? What's going on down there?
Oh, right, yes. It's Cheeky McGee on the scene. A monolith has appeared in the sky and... Hold on, doctor.
Monolith?
Hello? Oh, what? That's... Doctor, my social security number has been locked. Oh, wait, what? My 14th niece is in jail and needs bail money sent to her Cash App? Yes, oh, how horrible. My grandmother, who I only just learned about, needs a breast reduction. Double G-cups? Wow, Granny.
Cheeky, I think that we should just...
And I need an extended warranty on my 1993 Toyota Tercel. They want payment in Google gift cards? Right now? Oh, doctor, I have to go.
Well, all right. Well, hopefully things get worked out down there. It's time to take a break here on the Use Your Weight Radio podcast presented by the JXB Radio Network, and we're going to get things controlled and back together, and we'll be right back.
You are listening to the Use Your Weight Radio podcast, presented by the JXB Radio Network. Today's episode is sponsored in part by the 52 Card Laboratory. For history, nuance, unboxings, and the occasional magic trick, visit youtube.com/@52cardlaboratory.
Are you tired of your son of a gun boss being a pain in the rear? And come on down to Bob's General Management. We've got all kinds of bosses for you to choose from. We've got pain in the neck micromanagers.
Sean, can you come on over here? Look, show me what you're doing, because clearly something isn't working. Your stats don't lie. Looks like we'll have to retrain you from the ground up on this one. Report to the HR office.
We've also got anything cool as a cucumber bosses.
You want to use aisle 12 for a greased-up pig-catching tournament? Sure! Let me get the caution tape to block it off for you.
We've got all that and everything in between. So if you need a new boss because your old one just didn't cut the mustard anymore, come on down to Bob's General Management. We'll treat you like family down here.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey there, how's it going? I understand this is the number to Swift Response LLC, the makers of Flex Seal and the Flex Tape and all that. Well, I bought one of your guys' products and I have a bit of an inquiry. So me and my wife have been going through a pretty rough patch, just the spark's not there. It's not like it used to be. And, I saw your product, the funny guy with the creepy smile on TV, that, cuts a freaking boat in half, that guy. Yeah, I saw that it can fix anything, and I thought, hey, maybe this can, repair my relationship. And so what I did, I waited till my wife went to sleep and, poured it all over her, because it said it fixes anything. And I have a problem. She's not breathing, and nothing on the bottle says what I'm supposed to do next. So, you can answer my inquiry. I'm getting a little worried because, it's been 4 hours and she hasn't said a word. So, kind of need some help here.
Thank you for tuning in this week to Ye Old Country Parlor. I'm your host, Braxton Mayberry IV, Duke of Nashvillington. And today I have a song for you from the mind of a man named after a gun and a vehicle, Colt Ford. This is a snippet of his biggest hit to date with Chicken and Biscuits. She can rock them high heel shoes, but she'd rather wear cowboy boots, cut off jeans, and a baseball hat. Them city girls can't do it like that. Off the chain on a Friday night, dancing and drinking, ain't scared to fight. I'm definitely scared of her. By Sunday morning, come rolling round, singing in the choir is where she's found. Y'all, I'm so proud. Well, yeah, 'cause she'll beat you if you're not. 'Cause there ain't no doubt. She's pretty as a field of daisies. That's sweet. Oh, she's sweeter than watermelon wine. Way hotter than the Alabama asphalt. And when I get her in these arms of mine, Lord have mercy, I love her kisses. Man, I can't get enough. Kinda like chicken and biscuits. Biscuits? You mean American cookies? You're having them with chicken? What is wrong with you, America? Well, thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a fantastic day. God save the king!
You are listening to the Use Your Weight Radio podcast, presented by the JXB Radio Network. You can find us online at youtube.com/@useyourweight. We're also on Instagram @useyourweightpod.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Use Your Weight Radio podcast, presented lovingly by the JXB Radio Network. I'm Dr. Motorcycle.
And I'm the fantastic Johnny X. I don't know about you, Motorcycle, but I've been looking at the script. Have you looked at the script for the episode?
I never look at the script.
Naturally. It is with great shame. I got to tell you something, man. Guess what?
What?
It's time for the news.
Top of the morning to you. I'm Patrick McShaughnessy O'Shea.
And I'm the Mooch.
And this is the news as it's occurring on this day. For our first news story, what do you get when you cross rodeo with skiing? The wild and wacky skiarin.
Skiarin? That's a funny word, Patty. You know what else is a funny word? Pussyfoot. Because one of them words is one of my favorite things. Can you guess which one it is, Patty?
Ah, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, you started already. I know you do enjoy the feat much. Every winter, thousands of people converge on the old mining town of Leadville, Colorado, high in the Rocky Mountains.
I'd love to get Rocky Mountain high in the Rockies, Patty.
This highly competitive sport involves humans being pulled around by dogs, snowmobiles, and sometimes even cars up to 40 miles per hour, over jumps as high as 8 feet and around obstacles. I wonder if we could enter the competition much.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun, Patty. Who would we get to pull us around?
Us? No. I mean, I would enter it and hook you up to pull my sled. Hell, if they'll let dogs and snowmobiles do this, they can't deny you. They won't have any clue what you are, only if you can mush.
Oh, Patty, you son of a bitch. All these years we've been working together, and that's the way that you think about me? I can't believe it.
For our next story, a Tennessee fisherman reeled in a 3 to 4 foot alligator in a lake in the northeast part of the state. Oh, come on, Mooch. You gonna do a comeback or not?
I don't know if I want to keep doing this show with you, Patty. That was really hurtful.
Oh, cheese and crackers, Mooch, really? You sit there and crack jokes and demean this news program for how many years, and when I finally throw one back at you, you don't want to keep going. Look, I'm sorry, okay? I didn't know you would take the joke that poorly. Can we just get through this broadcast, and afterwards I'll just take you out for a pint. How's that sound?
Well, all right, I guess. You do your final news story. I need to go change my underpants.
And for our final news story.
Oh, but wait a minute, Patty. Please tell me it's not going to be a story about cats, 'cause you do this to me every damn time.
This time, the final story is about how staff at a wildlife center in Virginia are caring for a red fox. And to make sure it doesn't imprint on any humans, they're wearing a red fox mask while caring for it.
Oh, I love cosplay in the furry community. That's nice that they can bring their passions and pleasures together with their job. It's actually nice and sweet of you, Patty. I've just never seen this side of you being so sentimental.
Everyone can turn over a new leaf, Mooch. Everyone can. And that has been the news as it's occurring here on the Use Your Weight podcast, coming to you on the JXB Radio Network. I'm Patrick McShaughnessy O'Shea.
And I can say that I'm proud to be his friend, the Mooch.
Until we meet again, friends.
Wow, what an amazing and touching moment that we had from our supposedly Irish news team. What the friendship was on display there.
Yeah, the power of friendship always wins, I guess. No, I unexpected. I'm feeling a little verklempt, and a little moved after listening to that. I mean, I know they're a couple of crackheads, and I'm still not sure how they got hired, but I felt that. I really did, and it just makes me want to say, I love you, motorcycle.
I know. Thanks for joining us today here on the show, and a very special thanks to everyone involved in creating another fantastic episode. Today's program was directed by Bob McCoy. Executive producers included Bob McCoy, Josh Exline, and Josh Bates. The show starred Morgan J. You can find her on YouTube at youtube.com/@MorganJ. Special guest star appearance for today was provided by DCVA. Our assistant producer for today was Damian Miller. You can find his podcast, Casually Die Hard, on YouTube. That's youtube.com/@CasuallyDieHardPod. Additional production assistants and other talents were provided by James Terry, AJ Venegas, Ashley Alcott, Chris Mingus, and Garrett Snyder. Our announcer is Sarah Thomas. Thanks for listening. Share this podcast with a friend, and we'll see you next time right here on the Use Your Weight podcast, presented by the JXB Radio Network. As always, you can find us on Instagram at Use Your Weight Pod and on YouTube at youtube.com/@useyourweight.
Did you really just Han Solo me?
It's still real to me, damn it!